So since we already learned about the concepts of conditional statements and what is if, else, and if, else, if, all those stuff, we will be easily grasping these topics in Python as well, because the concepts are the same. So first of all, let's create our Python file right there. Let's say conditional statements dot. Great. Now in the same way just as we did in Java, let's initialize two variables, a equal to 3, b equal to 2. So in order to type in or write an if statement in your Python program, you just type in if and open close parenthesis, just like how you do in Java. And inside this open close parenthesis, you need to type in your condition. Let's say my condition is a greater than b. And then in Java, what we did is we opened and we used an open closed flower braces or curly braces like this. And inside this, we wrote all our if condition statements, right? But in Python, that's not how you do it. In Python, you type in a colon like this, and then you hit enter. And then when you're writing the next line, you have to actually follow an indentation, which means when you're writing your statements within this if program, they must be indented like this. They must be having a space from the start of your line, just like this. This is all the space I'm talking about. So there must be one indent. Basically one indent varies based on the type you're using. For example, if you can look closely, I don't know if you can notice it or not, but here in the bottom right corner of my brackets text editor, it says spaces :4. So that means the default size of my indent is 4 spaces. So it might vary for you based on the text editor you're using, but if you're using brackets, I think most probably the default size of an indent will be 4 spaces, or if you hit one tab, it's equal to 4 spaces. That's what indent means, right? So anyways, you will have to follow an indentation in Python, because Python is an indented language and you need to follow strict indentation. So over here you can start writing your statements which you want to execute, which you want to be executed if that particular condition passes, right? So if a greater than b, let's say I want to print out condition passed, something like that. All right. So yeah, first of all, let's go ahead and look at this simple thing. Let's execute that conditions in python.py. So there you go, condition is passed. That's because a is greater than b is a true statement. And that's how you do if statement. And in order to, you can also add an else statement, an else part to the if statement. So I can say else, and then similarly you have to again type in a colon like that, and then hit enter. And if you are using a good text editor, it will automatically provide the indentation, I mean the 4 spaces for you, just like how it did. So if you are using it on brackets, you will automatically get that indent when you hit enter after typing a colon, but only if you save the file first as a .py file, so that the brackets text editor will understand that you're trying to write Python source code. So it will try to provide the environment like a Python development environment. So save it as a Python file first before writing your code, and everything should be fine. Just hit enter and everything will automatically get indented. So anyways, type in else followed by colon, and now you can type in the else part. You can write print condition fail, something like that, right? And now let's actually change this condition over here. Let's say the other way around, b greater than a, so that we can just see if this condition failed print statement will be printed or not. So let's just go ahead and run that, and there you go, it says condition failed. Great. So that's how you do if and else statement, and actually these if and else are actually linked with each other. They're corresponding to each other. I want you to make a note of that, because it's really important. These are not two separate things, they're actually one particular unit, right? They are related to each other, they are dependent on each other. So what happens is, when your computer checks for this condition, whether b is greater than a, if this condition if it passes, if it is satisfied, then all the statements in this if condition will be under the if condition will be executed. And if the condition fails, then the control automatically sees if there is any else statement that is corresponding to this if statement, and if there is any else statement, then the control automatically comes to this else statement and executes all the statements under this else statement. So yeah, that's how it works. So now we have spoken about the if statement and if else also. We'll now go on to if else if. So in Python, in order to write an if else if statement, you need to type in elif. So in Java it's normally else space if, but in Python it's elif, right? So for an elif statement you have to write a condition, just like how you wrote a condition for else if statement. For elif statement too, you will have to actually specify a condition. You cannot just leave it empty. You cannot just say elif followed by colon, how you did for else, right? You have to actually mention something, right? You say elif a greater than b. So I'm just writing a condition which is opposite to the first condition, and let's say elif, and I'll say this one as condition 1 passed, and I'll say here, I'll say print condition 2 passed, right? So in this case I think our second condition will be true. So I think it prints out condition 2 passed, right? So right, that's all you need to understand about the conditional statements in Python. And in the next video we will be actually solving some or writing our programs. We will be taking some questions, we'll be taking some scenarios, and we'll be writing programs to solve those scenarios or problems. And we'll be doing that based on our knowledge that we gained until now in this course. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Just go ahead and watch the next video. It's going to be really interesting.